of Saints and Sinners by Morningstar Writes. Chapter 2. The Secret. List of things that Lucifer hates. 1. A mysterious person watching him while he's asleep. 2. And they're hovering over him. 3. Ominously. Lucifer throws his feather pillow, smacks someone in the head, and hears a flap pathetically on the ground. As he blinks his sleep away, various shades of red, and more red dot his vision. He only knew one person who matched that color palette. "What do you want?" "Rise and shine, sir." Alastor sits down on the edge of his bed, and Lucifer shuffles away from him. "Don't you know how to knock?" he complains, wrapping his blanket around his head. "What time is it?" "It's 5 a.m. "It's too early to deal with you. Leave." "I always start my day at the hotel at this hour. Early bird gets the worm, as they say." Alastor glances at the pile of rubber ducks in the corner and chuckles mockingly. "Or perhaps in your case, early duck might be better for you." "Ha ha, you're funny. You sound like a comedian." Lucifer deadpans. Alastor sticks his radio cane underneath the bed covers and lifts it off of his head. His blonde hair is sticking up everywhere, and he casts a glare at Alastor, who looks perfectly put together. He knows the real reason why Alastor came by so early. "You're not going to intimidate me like this," Alastor growls. "Like what?" "You're trying to ambush me in the morning and catch me off guard." Lucifer waves an impatient hand over at Alastor's outfit. He's properly dressed in his usual clothing, not a hair out of place. And Lucifer is still in a sleep-muddled state. He's even wearing his worn-out apple-patterned pajamas, which has a hole in one of the sleeves. "I reject your accusation." Alastor laughs it off, but there's a dangerous gleam in his eye. "In fact, I am just here to suggest an activity for today." "Uh-oh." "No need for theatrics. Why, it's just a friendly sparring match. I heard that those other hotel residents went straight into battle, and the fighting and bloodshed was essential to the foundations of their friendship. This should help us bond immensely, wouldn't you say?" "I highly doubt that's what Charlie had in mind when she wanted us to be nice to each other." Lucifer mimes air quotes with his hands, and Alastor's deer ears flatten on top of his head. Worried that you'll lose?" Alastor taunts. Lucifer finally sits up and crosses his legs, glowering at him the whole time. Hardly. Suggest something else." Alastor's grin resembles an animal baring its teeth. "There is absolutely nothing else I would like to do with you." "Ditto, asshole. You think I want to spend any time with you?" "Well, since you keep showing up where I work and live, it feels like you do." "You're the one who came into my room. I don't remember inviting you in." "And I moved in months ago. When did you join us again? Oh, right, last week." At this, Lucifer snarls and throws his blankets off. "Fine, let's go out there and fight, bitch." "Oh, that is certainly music to my ears." Alastor's shadow engulfs the room in a viridescent green. Growing, until it breaks Lucifer's door right in half. "What was that sound?" Maggie's voice trills in from outside the room, and she gasps when her eyes land on the destroyed door. "Charlie!" Maggie yells. "They're at it again!" Lucifer feels like he's on timeout when he's faced with everyone's judgmental gazes. He's reclining against the back of the sofa while trying to ignore Alastor, who is currently standing behind him. "He started it," Lucifer says sulkily. Alastor leans his head down uncomfortably close to Lucifer's face. "And I'd be happy to finish it." Lucifer swats at him, and Alastor dodges his hand in one fluid motion. "It's fine." Charlie smiles unconvincingly. "I've actually just gathered everyone here to help brainstorm what you two can do next. I mean, a little teamwork makes the dream work, right?" "Charlie, what kind of ideas are you looking for, anyway?" Angel Dust asks. He's sitting on the couch with Husk, who is currently lighting up a cigarette in his paws. "My dad and Alastor have agreed to spend time together." Charlie gestures over at them. "And I would love if everyone could suggest something for them to do that doesn't involve potentially, killing each other." Wait. "You want him?" Angel Dust points at Alastor. "And him?" His finger moves to Lucifer. To what? Become best friends? Well, any sort of relationship would be great, Charlie says enthusiastically. Acquaintances or, well, whatever's realistic. Just something where they can hang out in the same room together without any problems. Here's an idea. Why don't we all go out for a night on the town? Angel does giggles, not taking it seriously at all. They can drink and dance the night away. Alcohol is the fastest way to become friends. My girl Cherry can even give us the VIP booth. That is never going to happen. Alastor's smile looks more and more strained by the second. Well, what do you want to do, Alastor? Angel Dust asks. I would like to leave. There is no point in asking him! Charlie blurts out, and she sags back down onto the couch, looking deflated. Maggie squeezes her shoulder reassuringly, and Charlie places her hand atop of hers. Sorry, Angel, it's just... they've been stressing me out, that's all. Lucifer feels a touch of guilt at this. He turns around to look at Alastor, who is steadfastly looking away from him. My dear Charlie, you worry too much. We are on the path to an amicable coexistence, right, sir? To demonstrate his point, Alastor gracefully settles down beside him. There's a comically large distance of the couch between them, and Alastor places a pillow down as a barrier. But still. Well, Lucifer smiles sheepishly at the others. We're open to ideas. Alastor looks miffed at this. I see you don't have my back. I'm wounded. You're wounded. You're the one who attacked me this morning. And you reciprocated, didn't you? Enough, Jacobs. Angel Dust spreads his 6 arms out widely, almost smacking Husk's face in the process. Jeez, we can really cut all this tension with a knife. You're gonna want to cool it. Husk murmurs to Angel Dust, eyeing Alastor's increasingly angry smile. The boss looks like he's gonna fucking blow a fuse soon. Okay. I'll just offer up this one piece of golden advice. All you gotta do is find out what the other person likes and give it to them. That's how I got to be so good with my body. Angel Dust wiggles his eyebrows. And my mouth. Huh? Lucifer blinks at this confused. What does that mean? Aw, you're cute, King. Angel Dust coos, which makes me think you've been single for too long. Hey! Lucifer protests. Angel Dust ignores him and barrels on. What I'm trying to say is that getting along is easy if you know what they're looking for. Ah, manipulation. Alastor nods in agreement. Well, that's easy enough. Not manipulation. You don't have to be nice to each other, but you should learn about each other's likes and dislikes. So for Husk here, Angel Dust places a hand on him, he likes authenticity, which means... Angel Dust waits dramatically, cupping his hand to his ear. He's met with the eagerly blank stares of Alastor and Lucifer, and he sighs in exasperation. Easy, I'll tell him something truthful. Angel Dust leans back against the couch. You two need some serious socialization classes or something. So what are you going to say to me? Husk asks, his cigarette smoke coiling around his head. At this, Angel Dust looks uncharacteristically shy. His eyes dart from left to right, and he looks at Husk, really looks at him, and Lucifer suddenly feels like he's intruding on something private. Well, seeing after work is one of the things I look forward to the most, you know? Husk is silent for a moment, and then a genuine smile spreads across on his face. Well, feeling's mutual. Ah, jeez, Lucifer thinks, looking away from embarrassment. He can see Charlie tearing up on the side. Maggie's smiling softly and holding her close. Nifty in her own world, stepping above her concentration. And Alastor, whose menacing hatred rolls up his body in eerie dark shadows. We are not doing any of that. Alastor's voice is thick, resembling radio static. His baleful aura makes Husk and Angel Dust sink deeper into the couch, trying but failing to hide from him. In fact, I shall take my leave. Alastor turns to look at Lucifer and beckons him with his hand. Join me in the hallway. Me? Lucifer says, taken aback. Why, who else would I be speaking to? Lucifer looks around, but truthfully, he didn't have a good answer to that either. Okay. Thanks, you two, for your advice. He nods at Angel Dust and Husk, and they both offer an awkward wave goodbye. They exit into the hallway, and he trails behind Alastor, watching as his tattered overcoat swishes behind him with every step he takes. Alastor is extremely quiet, and the less he talks, the more anxious Lucifer feels. So, why did you pull me aside? Lucifer finally asks, stopping in his tracks. I don't think you want to practice what the tall one was talking about. Absolutely not! Alastor barks out a laugh, sounding both cruel and disbelieving. I gave you a compliment earlier today. I believe you owe me one now. Compliment? You mean when you said I looked 5 feet tall? And I meant every word of it. Lucifer slaps his hand to his face in frustration. You have no idea how to give compliments, do you? Wrong as always, sir. I've been told I have quite the silver tongue. That they were lying to you. And are you a liar? Lucifer looks up and he's startled to find Alastor's eyes boring into his own, glowing eerily in the dark. They're blood red and they look somewhat calculating, somewhat indifferent. A mystery all the same. Alastor drums his fingers against his radio cane as he waits for his answer, and the sound echoes in the empty hallway. Although it's unclear why Alastor is asking this, honesty may be the best policy here, and so he stares back resolutely. No. Lucifer's voice is firm. I'm not. Alastor's eyes widen, just a little. It's only for a millisecond, and then he settles back into his usual unreadable smile. Still, though, he looks slightly pleased by his answer. Okay, a compliment. What exactly should I say? You... He looks at him up and down, and Alastor stands absolutely still during his inspection. You've got sharp claws. Perfect for... killing? Alastor's deer ears perk up. Indeed they are! He goggles, inspecting his claws rather proudly. I suppose I'll see you tomorrow to resume this farce. To be continued? And with that, he disappears into the darkness. Lucifer wasn't expecting a huge dramatic change in his schedule, but his days go by in such a normal manner that he almost forgets about the promise. The only difference is that Alastor searches for him once every 24 hours to exchange a backhanded compliment. Why, you look healthier than yesterday, sir. Did you finally get some much-needed sleep? Thanks. And did you get eye drops? Your eyes are a little less bloodshot than usual. Do something that was barely helpful. Oh my, are you aware that you have a piece of lint on your shoulder? Let me get that for you so as not to sully your royal hands. Wow, you know what? Your jacket is in tatters. Why don't I get you a new one? And then Alastor purposely avoids him for the rest of the day, choosing to vanish into thin air whenever Lucifer walks into the room, which is rather insulting if he's being honest. But Lucifer doesn't know how far he wants to go for this promise, so he kind of puts up with it for now, even though bumping into Alastor is truly the worst part of his day. Every single day! Charlie studies the two of them attentively, Lucifer organizing books in one room, Alastor ordering husk around in another, and she lets out a deep sigh. Maggie, do you think my dad and Alastor are getting along? She asks worriedly. They barely talk to each other at all these past few days. Isn't that what you wanted? Maggie says. You wanted them to stop fighting, right? Yes, but I can tell that they still hate each other. The whole point was that they can at least shift from feelings of hate to feelings of neutral. Charlie lights up when she thinks of an idea. You know what? I'm going to give them a helping hand. Maggie pauses, sweeping the floors to look at Charlie. Sweetie, I know you mean well, but I'm not sure how good this is going to go. It'll be fine. I'm just going to organize a little something. Will you and Nifty help me? Maggie smiles softly and clasps Charlie's hand with her own. Of course, Charlie. You know I'll always support you. Charlie beams at her, and they dash off together to start planning. So welcome, everyone. Charlie claps her hands together. They're situated back in the lobby, but this time there's a large podium in the center. A colorful banner is strung across the top of the stage that reads, Trusting 101! And Charlie stands in the center with a microphone in her hands. Our suggestion today is to do the trust fall again. Neither of you were here for the last one, so we'll demonstrate how to do it first. It's pretty simple. You share something vulnerable with the group about yourself, fall backwards, and then look at you. Vulnerable? Lucifer repeats, glancing shiftily at Alastor. I really don't want to say anything too personal in front of this guy. What a shame. Alastor is positively dripping with sarcasm. I looked forward to learning about your hopes and dreams. At least I have those. You two need to stop your arguing and let Charlie finish explaining. Maggie threatens, shoving her finger against Lucifer's chest. Lucifer immediately climbs up, and Alastor stands patiently with his hand on his cane. Thank you, Maggie, Charlie says gratefully. So, we'll have Nifty show us. Please say something, less scary this time.
Yay! I'm up!
Nifty runs up to the podium and bounces up and down in place, giggling when her eye lands on Lucifer.
I'm Nifty, and I like bad boys. And that, of course, includes you, Mr. Ultimate Bad Boy.
Nifty points towards Lucifer, and he laughs awkwardly, looking away from her. Oh, you flatter me. I'm just a simple man, really. Simple, indeed. Alastor sing-songs. Some may even say a real simpleton. Stop! Maggie grabs Lucifer's shoulder before he can respond, and he swallows down the insult he was about to spew at Alastor.
Catch me!
Nifty jumps right off the stage, and everyone wants to grab her except for Alastor, who merely observes from afar. Nifty shrieks in delight, and she hops off from their hands.
I want to go again!
Maybe later, Nifty. Charlie pats her head appreciatively. Thanks for your help. So that was how you do it. Which one of you wants to go first? Lucifer and Alastor take this moment to size each other up. Alastor's expression is impassive as usual, but his dear ears flick downwards, and Lucifer's eyes follow the movement, which makes him realize something. It meant that Alastor was irritated. Charlie, Lucifer sighs out. He's not going to catch me. A flicker of surprise patches through Alastor's eyes, but he quickly smooths out his expression. Oh, you! Catching you would be easy, sir. You're so small that you'd fit in one hand. Alastor uses his index finger and thumb as the measurement method, purposely making the distance as short as possible. I just have doubt that you have the strength to catch me, so I would much rather not participate. You're so full of shit. Lucifer shoves him roughly, and Alastor bares his teeth in response. You're just afraid, aren't you? Too scared to reveal something about yourself. Afraid? Alastor's shadow starts crawling out from his back, and he leans into Lucifer's personal space, his red eyes brimming with barely contained rage. I have never felt fear in my life. Prove it then. They glare at each other tersely. Lucifer suppresses the urge to push him again, and Charlie bites her nails from the sheer anxiety. All right, your majesty. Alastor relents, snapping his neck to the side. Your wish is my command. Thank you for volunteering, Alastor. Okay, please step onto the podium. Charlie says, relieved, and she gestures towards the stage. Alastor's shoes are audible with every step he takes. Click, click, click. And he stands center stage once he reaches the podium. Something vulnerable, Alastor places a finger on his chin and thought. Well, if you tune into my radio show, you may find that I am rather fond of jazz music. Lucifer waits for him to expand on this statement, but Alastor stops talking and turns around, his back towards them. Will His Royal Highness please make his way over? Alastor calls out mockingly. I'm here, douchebag. Lucifer rolls his eyes and prepares his arms to catch him. Ready when you are. Alastor falls down in a surprisingly graceful manner and lands snugly in Lucifer's arms. He realizes a moment too late that he's holding Alastor bridal style, one arm wrapped around his waist, the other tucked underneath his legs, and it's uncomfortably intimate. Although Lucifer is pleased to look down at Alastor for once, watching how his eyelashes cut shadows on his cheekbones, even his fluffy ears and little antlers are admittedly a bit endearing, and completely at odds with the rest of Alastor, who is all blood and malice. Ha! Lucifer says triumphantly. See, I told you I could lift you. Alastor gazes up at him, and Lucifer is caught off guard by how large his red eyes look. Let go, Alastor says curtly. There isn't an ounce of humor in his voice, and Lucifer feels Alastor's body tensing up. He drops him, and Alastor lands on his feet, straightening up his jacket and looking at anywhere but him. We are done here, Alastor says tightly. I am retiring to my room. If you value your life, you will not speak to me for the rest of the day. Lucifer's jaw drops at this. He's annoyed and upset and confused, and he yanks on his radio cane to pull him down to eye level, his golden eyes glowering into Alastor's red ones. Are you serious? You refuse to listen to advice. You barely say a word to me these past few days, and you can't even pretend to be interested in this? Lucifer growls, and he tosses Alastor's cane to the side. You know what? I'm heading up to my room. Thank you, ladies, for your time.
He then raises both his middle fingers up to Alastor.
And fuck you, bitch!
He teleports away without saying goodbye.
He can't face Charlie's disappointment.
Again.
Why is nothing working? Charlie cries out. They're dismantling the podium, and she's struggling to put the banner away when Maggie pries it out of her hands. Maybe we should stop doing this trust fall, Maggie says softly. I mean, it was kind of a bust last time, too.
I know, I thought I could be helpful, but I pushed too hard again. Just like when I bothered Angel about Valentino.
Charlie curls her arms around her knees. Maggie kneels down beside her, and she carefully brushes Charlie's hair out of her eyes. Oh, hon, I think this is one of those things that only they can tackle. They're going to have to figure it out on their own.
Right, you're right.
Charlie lifts her head up and looks at Maggie, her eyes glossy with unshed tears.
I should have done this trust fall myself. I need to learn that I can trust them to handle it. I'm sure it'll work out.
Maggie thinks back on the past few days. The bickering, the deliberate avoidance, the burning down of hotel rooms, and tries to smile reassuringly. Right, I'm sure they'll resolve it. Lucifer stares deeply into the soulless eyes of a rubber duck. That maniac should be grateful I've been so patient, Lucifer mutters. I mean, I held him in my arms. I haven't eaten and done that for anyone since... He pauses for a moment and looks at the duck in his hand forlornly. Since Lilith, he murmurs. He tries not to think about her, but on nights like these, when he has no one to turn to, it's easy to wonder where she went. He looks at his wedding ring and considers for the millionth time to take it off. The shiny gold band glistens tauntingly underneath the light, and he clenches his hand against his chest. He can't bear to remove it somehow. He still feels sentimental about the whole thing, even though they're separated, even though her memory is more of a whisper than a shout, even though she abandoned him and their kid to go who knows where for years. Knock, knock! Alastor materializes out of nowhere, and Lucifer yelps loudly, dropping the duck in the process. What? You! I told you to knock first. Well, I said it, didn't I? Knock, knock. Alastor says, sitting back onto the edge of his bed, just like he did a few days ago. Lucifer rolls onto his side to avoid looking directly at him, too drained from spending the whole day together. You know what? That is so beyond the point right now. What the hell do you want? Lucifer sounds sulky even to his own ears. I thought you told me not to speak to you for the rest of the day. Alastor stands up and walks to the other side of the bed, venturing back into Lucifer's eyeline. Well, that was the day, and now it's evening. Lucifer is suddenly seized with the urge to smother him with a pillow. I really don't want to see your stupid face right now. Now, I admit my participation has been, shall we say, less than satisfactory. I originally planned on doing the bare minimum, but it seems that I have upset you. I'm not upset. Lucifer grumbles, but it sounds unconvincing even to himself. Okay, fine, yes, I am upset. But only because I know this is important to Charlie, and I want to at least try to get along. For her sake. Well then, we are on the same page, Alastor says brightly. I would like to rectify my past behavior. We made a deal, after all. Not a deal. A pinky promise, nonetheless. Lucifer groans at this and glances at Alastor from the corner of his eye, feeling increasingly exasperated by the conversation. Then you know what? If you still want me to owe you a favor, you're gonna have to explain yourself. What the hell happened today?
Alastor's smile freezes on his face, and his eyes dart towards the door as though contemplating if he should run away or not. About what? Alastor says coyly.
Oh, you know what. The trust fall?
Lucifer demonstrates by holding his arms out.
Did I, hurt you or something?
You? Hurt me? Alastor sounds so incredulous that Lucifer feels a little offended, actually. What a ridiculous notion, sir.
Oh, first of all, not ridiculous at all, but whatever. Lucifer huffs. And secondly, why then?
Alastor turns around, his back facing towards him. His claws clutch the sheets in a white-knuckled grip that threatens to rip through the fabric, and he doesn't speak for so long that Lucifer half expects him to just disappear into the night. Alastor grits his teeth. Lucifer waits. Not comfortable. He takes a beat.
With physical contact.
What? Lucifer says, turning to look at him. All he can see is Alastor's back, and he has no idea what kind of expression he has on.
The trust fall.
He exhales.
It was rather overwhelming.
Every word sounds like it's being ripped out of his mouth against his will. Oh.
It is manageable if I initiate it,
Alastor continues.
or if I have known them for many years.
Huh.
Your monosyllabic words are such poetry to my ears, sir.
Alastor says acerbically. No, I'm just surprised, Lucifer admits. But, I must be the last person you'd want to say this to.
An accurate statement.
Alastor finally turns around, his trademark smile stretching from ear to ear.
Oh, that was the best that I tell you now, in case you want to do something like that again.
I didn't want to hold you.
Really? You certainly fooled me.
Yeah, well, there's only one fool here, and it's you.
Oh my! What a biting remark!
Lucifer lunges forward to grab Alastor's jacket and stops abruptly. As he hastily retracts his hand, Alastor watches him with rapt attention.
What exactly are you doing?
I'm respecting your space. Lucifer crosses his arms uncomfortably. You just said that you weren't comfortable with others touching you.
Does His Majesty care for me? How very touching.
In what universe would this, Lucifer gestures wildly at the space between them, look like I care? Go rot in hell.
Already there!
Lucifer muffles a groan in his hands, but Alastor grabs him by his shirt collar, pulling him so close that their noses graze each other.
Fighting is different.
Alastor's eyes morph into radio dials, and they appear luminous in the dim lighting of the room.
As the intention is to beat and subdue.
He's okay with violent contact, but not friendly ones? Lucifer thinks, confused. The more he learns about Alastor, the less he understands.
If you tell anyone, I will personally rip your entrails out, tie them into a bow, and deliver you like a present onto Charlie's doorstep.
The radio dials in his eyes slowly flick back and forth, and Lucifer slaps Alastor's hand off of his shirt. Don't drag my daughter into this. Besides, I wouldn't tell anyone anyway. Believe it or not, I'd rather not spend my free time talking about you. Despite Alastor's bravado, Lucifer can recognize his discomfort in the air, his eyes gradually returning back to its normal red. It's awkward. Extremely so. But also nice that Alastor was willing to share such an intimate detail. He looks wholly uncomfortable based on the flattening of his near ears. Well, thanks, Lucifer says stiffly, for confiding in me. And I'm really sorry for pushing you into the trust exercise.
Do not apologize to me.
Alastor growls, his voice dropping into almost pure static.
I am not interested in your pity.
I'm not pitying you. Lucifer shakes his head in frustration. Alastor always found a way to twist his words around, and it was starting to mess with his head. I'm just kind of glad it wasn't personal.
Personal?
Alastor echoes. Like I thought that maybe I smelled bad or something, and that's why you left. Alastor's surprise on his face is comically visible.
Rest assured, you do not smell bad.
His radio filter slips off, and Lucifer can hear his real voice chuckling quietly. In fact, you smell... What? Never mind. Alice says he gets off of the bed and stands far away, a clear indication that he's ending the topic there. Full stop. Well then, I should probably get to the reason why I'm here. You actually have a reason? Why, of course, I wouldn't drop by just to hang out. Alastor makes air quotes with his hands, copying what Lucifer did before.
I'll leave once you tell me about your favorite pastime.
Are you asking about my likes or dislikes? Lucifer blinks at this. Like what the angel and the cat Husk told us to do.
No need to spill your heart out.
Alastor ignores his question.
Just tell me one thing that you enjoy doing.
Lucifer weighs his options. He could either suggest something outlandish and uncomfortable to disarm him, or he could just be honest and say something that might actually interest Alastor. As he mulls over his choices, he thinks back to the trust exercise. Alastor mentioned he liked jazz music. If so...
Well, I like... Lucifer hesitates for a moment. Playing music, mostly the fiddle, but I can play other instruments too.
For a split second, Alastor looks delighted at his disclosure.
How unexpected! I also enjoy performing. I'm partial to the piano.
Oh, well, at least we have one thing in common.
Lucifer actually cracks a small smile at this.
2 things.
What?
We have 2 things in common.
Alastor lifts up 2 fingers as an emphasis.
Playing music and taking care of the hotel.
You do take this bellhop job quite seriously.
Lucifer acknowledges.
Again, I am not a bellhop.
Alastor's eye twitches, and he lets out a sigh.
Well, your majesty, as entertaining as this has all been, I will have to bid you farewell for tonight.
Hold on.
Lucifer avoids touching him, instead choosing to grab his cane to stop him.
You can't leave until you give me a compliment. Don't think you can weasel your way out of this.
Alastor looks curiously at Lucifer's hand on his cane. There's a small moment of silence between them before Alastor slowly flicks his gaze back towards him.
Very well. I will confess that you are much stronger than you look. I didn't think your spindly arms could keep me upright during Charlie's little exercise.
Hey, these spindly arms are pure muscle, all right?
Lucifer says indignantly.
Whatever you say.
As they stand face to face, Lucifer waits for Alastor to dissipate into the air and leave. Unexpectedly, Alastor leans in and says,
Well?
Well, what?
Well, what compliment are you going to give me today?
Alastor yanks his radio cane closer, and the action makes Lucifer stumble forward, almost touching him, but not quite.
Right.
Lucifer contemplates for a second. What exactly should he compliment then?
I like your...
He thinks about Alastor's deer ears, flicking this way and that, a far better reflection of his moods than any of his facial expressions. So he points at Alastor's head.
That.
You like my face?
Hell no!
Lucifer shouts, cheeks burning.
I was talking about your ears.
Oh my! Did I make you blush?
Alastor snickers, his laughter increasing as Lucifer's cheeks continue to redden.
I don't blush. And you know what? This? Lucifer gestures to his flushed cheeks. This is completely unrelated. In fact, I think I'm running a fever. So, good night!
He spits out angrily and teleports out of the room. A few seconds later, he teleports back.
This is actually my room, he says impatiently, so I'm gonna need you to go.
If Alastor was being honest, this was not how we wanted the night to progress. Well, what can he possibly do with that information anyway? Alastor thinks. He's still standing in the hallway outside of Lucifer's room, ruminating over their conversation. It's not a particularly interesting fact, nor is it even a debilitating weakness, as Alastor is perfectly capable of exterminating any and all his enemies. But Lucifer was odd and strangely accommodating.
A deal is a deal, after all.
Alastor mutters.
Even the awful ones must be upheld.